Hi, everyone, and welcome back to my YouTube channel, Cheryl Milder Unfiltered Real Talk. I have a question for you guys, and I want you to answer honestly. There's no judgment at all. Would you ever date someone who has kids? And that's a good, valid question, right? Would you ever date someone who has kids? For me, when I was younger, not younger, let me backtrack. When I was able to have a boyfriend and date, I was not opposed to it. I was not, honestly. I was not opposed to dating a man that had kids until I heard and seen drama um, when it comes to dating baby mama or vice versa. And I know everyone is different. Every situation is different in everyone's household. But what I experienced, what I witnessed, I said absolutely not. Because I seen crazy stories about the mothers not getting along with their ex. The mothers of the child's always interfering. The mother still has attachment towards their ex. They can't let it go, and just always there. You know what I mean? Or always causing trouble. And I've seen that so many times in my friends' past relationships and other people. And sometimes it can be really messy and and I don't want to say annoying, but it can be very frustrated. That's the word. It can be very frustrated when you're trying to blend in and to the family and you're dating someone who has kids and then you have this other person that's just so difficult. And what do you do in that situation? You know what I mean? And it can be hard. It can be hard, especially if those two are not civil, you know what I mean? And they still have hatred or animosity towards each other. So it can be hard, opposed to when you have a couple that's peaceful and they're very cordial to one another, and it could be a great thing. It could be a wonderful thing, but that's very rare, but it does happen a lot. You know what I mean? You do have parents that co-parent and they get along very well, which it does take time. You know what I mean? It's not overnight, but I seen some crazy mama drama stuff, you know what I mean? And it's just, to me, it's just insane. And then I just vow to myself that I don't think I want to date a guy that have kids. And that may be judgmental. That may be like, oh, you shouldn't think like that, Cheryl. You shouldn't do that, because what if you met Mr. Right? And I'm like, okay, you have a point. And was in my 20s and 30s when I was single. And I'm like, you have a point. But there's other times you date a man or a woman who have a child already from a previous marriage or a previous relationship, that they don't want a child anymore. They're just good with one. So what do you do with that? You know what I mean? So it can be hard, especially if you really like someone and you're really into them, and then you think that this person's the one, and they turn around and tell you, I'm done. I don't think I want to have any more children. One is enough for me. What do you do with that? You know what I mean? It can be tough. You know what I mean? Especially if you like someone. Because I know I dated someone a long time ago, and I really, really liked this guy. Really liked him. He had his stuff together. He had a house. He had a daughter. And the thing is, with him, he was not very straightforward with me, because I even asked questions, and we were on a few dates. It's not like on a first date, you know what I mean? But we've been on a few dates, and I asked him, like, are you willing to, not willing, excuse me, in the near future, are you open to have more children? And he said yes. He said absolutely, you know what I mean? Because he had one daughter. I'm like, okay, this is good. This is good. I don't know if he was just saying that because he was trying to get into my pants. This is before I was living in Christ. I just want to be very clear. I was not living in Christ at the time. Um, so I think he just wanted to tell me what I wanted to hear, because I believe he wanted to get into my pants, which unfortunately it worked, because I thought he was the one, honestly, because he had his head on his shoulder. He had a great job, a house, a daughter. He really provided for himself and for his daughter. He seemed like he was like legit. And then turn around later on, no, I don't want to have kids. Like, I'm saying, what? You don't want to have kids? He just told me, like, we're open to it. I said, no, I'm good with my daughter. And I'm like, okay. So that was like a bus. And I vowed to myself, I will not date a man who have kids. I'd rather date a guy who don't have kids, that if they do want to have kids, then that's great. And if they don't, I keep it moving. You know what I mean? I just feel like in my experience, guys that I dealt with who had kids, they don't want any more. That's one. The second thing is, with other friends of mine and people that I known who dated men who have kids, had to deal with the baby mama drama. It was just craziness because the ex was just nuts. Didn't know, she was just out of her mind. She was just keep popping in and popping out anytime, not giving the concern to her ex-boyfriend or ex-husband at the time. It can be a lot. It can be a lot. And it takes a lot of patience of the other person to handle that, because it's not easy. It's not easy, you know, getting yourself into a new relationship with someone who has a kid, and you have to adapt to that. Also, you got to adapt to the ex as well. It can be really difficult and very challenging, but if you really like the person and you feel like there's a future, and then especially if you're bonding with that person's child too, it's worth it. You know what I mean? And it's worth it. If you feel like it's just too much, because sometimes it can be much because people are crazy and they lose their mind and they can get out of hand. That can be too much for someone, and people got to pump the brakes. Like, not for me. I'm good. I don't think this is going to work out because your baby mama or your ex-husband, it's just too much. And some people just walk away. Some people walk away, and who can blame them? You know what I mean? It's a lot. It's a lot to handle someone when you're into a new relationship and you're dating and they have a child. It can be a lot, and especially if you're trying to get a have a relationship with the other person's child too. It's also a lot. That's why, for me, and for anyone else, that is super important. Before you get involved with anyone, make sure that this person is legit. Make sure that person is going to be good with your child, because you don't want to introduce someone to your kid and then what if it doesn't work out? You know what I mean? Then your son or daughter is so attached to that person and it doesn't work out, and then your child is, bummed or upset about it. You know what I mean? So I would take that very cautiously before you get involved with someone, or if you're dating someone that has kids. Just make sure you get to know the person very well. Make sure that everyone's on the same page. Make sure that you're getting along with your ex, or there's no craziness, because sometimes there is. And just make sure that everyone's on the same page, because at the end of the day, you don't want your child to be affected by it. But for me, I didn't want to date any man that has a kid, because it was just the stuff that I seen, the experience that I had. It was just like a no go for me. But some people, it works out. You know what I mean? You hear beautiful stories about blended family, getting along, getting well. The exes are just fine. You see that too, you know what I mean, which is a beautiful thing. And I love seeing stuff like that, because it's great for the kids, it's great for the your exes to get along with one another. But you have some exes that can't let go, and they think that there's hope that they're going to get back with their significant other, when there's no hope at all. You know what I mean? Just trying to intervene or just cause trouble in a relationship, because you get that too. You get that a lot, or try to like ruin their relationship, and it's just crazy. So just be careful and be aware of that too, and just notice the signs. Just notice the signs. If you see signs like that, run for the hills. I'm telling you, run for the hills. And my question is, again, would you ever date someone who has kids? Are you okay with that? Would you keep an open mind and date someone who has kids or not? And again, this is no judgment zone, because I did not date a guy. I dated a guy that had a child, pardon me. And then after that, I told myself, never again. And since then, I haven't dated anyone that had a child until I met my husband. And he didn't have any kids. Thank God for that. Anyway, please let me know. Please comment below and let me know if you had experience of that, or if you knew anyone with that situation, with the whole baby mama drama or the father drama. Because men can get weirded out too when they see their ex-girlfriend or ex-wife dating someone and they have kids. It works both ways. You know what I mean? It all depends on the person and the situation. how it is. So I just would love to get your comment and let me know. Again, this is no judgment. And if you do like this video, please subscribe below. And I just want to say thank you so much for watching my YouTube channel, Sharon Wilder Unfiltered Real Talk. And I will talk to you guys soon. Take care and God bless. Bye.